Imagine a world where every statement, every decision, and every action could change the course of a nation. Tonight, we take you inside the real story behind a late-night declaration from Afghanistan's foreign minister. Words that shocked many, puzzled some, and carry lessons far beyond borders. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear is not just politics. It's a story of diplomacy, courage, and the delicate balance between peace and power that can teach all of us how leadership and wisdom navigate uncertainty. On October 11, 2025, a significant escalation occurred along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border, resulting in one of the most intense clashes between Afghan Taliban forces and Pakistani troops since the Taliban's return to power in Kabul. The confrontation unfolded overnight, with both sides claiming substantial casualties. Afghanistan reported 58 Pakistani soldiers killed, while Pakistan claimed over 200 Taliban fighters were killed. These figures remain unverified and reflect the highly charged nature of the conflict. The violence erupted following a series of Pakistani airstrikes on Afghan territory, including Kabul and eastern provinces such as Paktika. Pakistan stated that the strikes targeted Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan (TPP) militants operating from Afghan soil, a claim that Afghanistan denied. In response, Afghan forces launched retaliatory attacks on Pakistani military positions along the disputed Durand Line, leading to heavy exchanges of gunfire and artillery. The Pakistani military reported 23 soldiers killed and 29 wounded, while Afghanistan claimed to have inflicted significant losses on Pakistani forces and captured several border posts. Border clashes have had severe humanitarian and economic repercussions. Pakistan closed all major border crossings with Afghanistan, including the crucial Torkham and Chaman crossings, halting trade and travel. This disruption has stranded numerous vehicles and affected thousands of individuals, including Afghan refugees and traders. The closure has also impacted the delivery of essential goods and services, exacerbating the challenges faced by both nations. International reactions have been swift, with calls for restraint and dialogue. Qatar and Saudi Arabia have urged both sides to de-escalate and engage in diplomatic negotiations. The United States, through President Donald Trump, has expressed a willingness to mediate and assist in resolving the conflict. However, the situation remains tense, with sporadic gunfire reported in areas such as Pakistan's Kuram district, indicating that the ceasefire is fragile and the risk of further escalation persists. This conflict underscores the long-standing issues between Afghanistan and Pakistan, including territorial disputes, cross-border militancy, and differing security priorities. The international community continues to monitor the situation closely, emphasizing the need for peaceful resolution and stability in the region. On the heels of the border clashes between Afghan and Pakistani forces, diplomatic efforts quickly became the focal point for reducing tensions and preventing further escalation. Afghan officials, recognizing the potential for a broader regional crisis, emphasized the need for immediate de-escalation and open channels for dialogue with their Pakistani counterparts. These efforts were significantly influenced by appeals from Gulf countries, particularly Saudi Arabia and Qatar, which have historically maintained strategic relations with both Afghanistan and Pakistan. Their involvement underscored the importance of regional mediation in fostering stability and mitigating misunderstandings between the two nations. The Afghan Foreign Minister played a central role in communicating these intentions, publicly announcing the cessation of hostilities and calling for calm along the volatile border areas. The emphasis was placed not only on stopping active conflict, but also on creating a framework for sustained diplomatic engagement. This approach signaled a strategic shift aiming to address security concerns while preventing civilian casualties and maintaining essential cross-border trade routes. Both nations highlighted their commitment to avoid targeting civilian populations, recognizing the humanitarian implications of armed conflict. The call for de-escalation was further reinforced through back-channel communications and consultations facilitated by neutral third-party actors. These diplomatic interventions included direct talks, multilateral consultations, and informal dialogues aimed at identifying common ground and mitigating points of contention. By prioritizing diplomacy over retaliation, Afghanistan demonstrated an understanding of the long-term benefits of stable regional relations. Officials underscored the significance of international norms and agreements that encourage peaceful resolution of disputes and mutual respect for sovereignty. Moreover, the public messaging around de-escalation sought to build confidence both domestically and internationally. Afghan leadership emphasized transparency in their actions, providing factual updates on military engagements while stressing their commitment to peace. This approach was designed to counteract potential misinformation and foster a climate conducive to negotiation. By framing the situation in terms of shared responsibility and collective security, Afghanistan sought to create incentives for Pakistan to engage constructively rather than react militarily. These efforts reflect a broader strategic calculation. While security concerns remain pressing, the pursuit of diplomatic solutions offers a sustainable path to regional stability. The emphasis on dialogue, international mediation, and avoidance of civilian harm highlight a measured and responsible approach to conflict management. In this context, Afghanistan's message of de-escalation signals a willingness to resolve disputes through communication and cooperation, setting a precedent for future engagement and demonstrating a commitment to peace-focused regional policies. Following the initial attempts at de-escalation along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border, the Afghan Foreign Minister's statement regarding other options drew significant attention. This remark was carefully measured, reflecting both a willingness to pursue diplomacy and a readiness to respond decisively if peaceful efforts failed. By referencing alternative courses of action, the Foreign Minister signaled that Afghanistan remained committed to protecting its territorial integrity and national interests while simultaneously maintaining a preference for negotiation over conflict. The phrasing was deliberately ambiguous, allowing room for flexibility in policy and providing a cautionary message without escalating tensions unnecessarily. The context of this warning is rooted in ongoing border security challenges. Afghanistan has long been concerned about the presence of armed groups operating from Pakistani territory, including factions that have targeted Afghan soil. The statement about other options was therefore not a casual threat, but a reflection of these long-standing security concerns. It underscored the importance Afghanistan places on its sovereignty and its responsibility to ensure the safety of its citizens. At the same time, the statement was framed in a way that left the door open for continued dialogue, emphasizing that diplomatic solutions remain the primary preference. This nuanced approach is also consistent with Afghanistan's broader strategy of engaging with the international community. By signaling that alternative measures could be taken if necessary, Afghanistan communicated both to Pakistan and to external observers that it would not be passive in the face of potential provocations. The reference to other options serves as a strategic deterrent, reminding regional actors that unresolved disputes have consequences, while also avoiding language that could be interpreted as overtly aggressive or inflammatory. This balance reflects a sophisticated understanding of diplomatic communication, particularly in a region where misinterpretation can quickly escalate conflicts. Furthermore, the statement can be viewed as part of a larger effort to assert Afghanistan's position on the global stage by articulating a readiness to act. If diplomacy fails, the foreign minister reinforced the idea that Afghanistan is a responsible but vigilant actor committed to maintaining peace while safeguarding national interests. The communication style demonstrates careful consideration of both domestic audiences who expect strong leadership and international stakeholders who prioritize stability in the region. Overall, the statement about other options illustrates a dual strategy of caution and preparedness. Afghanistan seeks to engage constructively with Pakistan and other neighboring countries, but it also underscores the necessity of defending national security. This measured articulation of intent highlights the delicate balance between diplomacy and deterrence, showing a pragmatic approach to complex regional dynamics and signaling that Afghanistan's commitment to peace is accompanied by readiness to protect its sovereignty if required. Prior to the recent border tensions, the Afghan Foreign Minister undertook a diplomatic visit to India, marking a significant step in Afghanistan's efforts to engage with the international community since the Taliban regained control in 2021. This visit was strategically important as it highlighted Afghanistan's intent to build economic and political relationships beyond its immediate neighbors, while also seeking recognition and cooperation from established regional powers. The meetings focused on multiple areas of mutual interest, signaling a commitment to pragmatic diplomacy and constructive dialogue. During the visit, the foreign minister met with high-ranking Indian officials, including the Indian foreign minister, to discuss avenues for bilateral collaboration. Key topics included trade, infrastructure, healthcare, consular services, and port access, all of which are critical for enhancing Afghanistan's connectivity with international markets and improving economic stability within the country. This engagement was not merely ceremonial, but aimed at building tangible cooperation frameworks that could benefit both nations, while also demonstrating Afghanistan's willingness to participate responsibly in regional affairs. The timing of the visit was notable, as it occurred against the backdrop of heightened border tensions with Pakistan. By maintaining an active diplomatic agenda, Afghanistan emphasized that its foreign policy priorities include broad-based engagement rather than reactive responses to immediate security challenges. This approach helped to project an image of stability and foresight, portraying Afghanistan as a nation capable of balancing domestic security concerns with long-term international partnerships. The visit underscored a commitment to diplomacy as a primary tool for achieving national objectives, rather than relying solely on military measures. Another significant aspect of the visit was the effort to build confidence and trust between Afghanistan and India. Through detailed discussions on trade and infrastructure, Afghanistan aimed to create opportunities for economic development that could reduce reliance on neighboring countries whose relations have been historically tense. Cooperation in healthcare and consular services also demonstrated a focus on people-to-people engagement, fostering goodwill and practical benefits for citizens of both nations. These initiatives signal an understanding that Sustainable diplomacy is rooted not only in political agreements, but also in the creation of mutually beneficial programs that touch everyday life. Overall, the foreign minister's visit to India reflected a deliberate and strategic effort to strengthen Afghanistan's international presence. By engaging in concrete discussions across multiple sectors, Afghanistan sought to reinforce its role as a cooperative regional actor. The visit illustrated a pragmatic approach to diplomacy, emphasizing long-term relationship building, economic development, and regional integration, while simultaneously signaling that Afghanistan's foreign policy remains proactive, balanced, and oriented toward constructive engagement with neighboring and global partners. During the Afghan Foreign Minister's visit to India, a controversy arose surrounding the participation of women journalists, which drew significant attention from both domestic and international observers. Reports indicated that no female journalists were allowed to attend the press conference, leading to criticism from Indian media, political figures, and advocacy groups concerned with press freedom and gender equality. The incident highlighted the sensitivities surrounding women's roles in public and professional life under the current Afghan administration, as well as the broader challenges of gender inclusion in official diplomatic engagements. In response to the criticism, the Afghan foreign minister clarified that the absence of female journalists was due to a technical issue rather than an intentional exclusion. This explanation sought to address immediate concerns while mitigating potential diplomatic tensions. The clarification emphasized that the Afghan administration remains aware of international norms regarding gender equality and press access, and aimed to assure observers that the incident was not reflective of broader policy intentions. By framing it as a logistical or procedural matter, the foreign minister attempted to maintain credibility and preserve the integrity of the visit, which focused primarily on building diplomatic and economic ties. The controversy also underscored the complex intersection of cultural norms, political expectations, and international scrutiny in high-profile diplomatic settings. Afghanistan, under the current administration, faces internal debates over women's participation in public life, which can impact how foreign engagements are perceived. The press incident highlighted how symbolic actions, such as access to media events, carry substantial weight in shaping international perceptions of governance, inclusivity, and adherence to human rights standards. It also illustrated the challenges Afghan officials encounter when balancing domestic practices with the expectations of foreign partners who prioritize transparency, media freedom, and gender equality. Additionally, the reaction from Indian journalists and politicians demonstrated the broader impact of media engagement on diplomatic relations. Open and inclusive press conferences are often seen as a reflection of governmental transparency and a willingness to engage in dialogue. The controversy generated discussions not only about gender representation, but also about how Afghanistan communicates its policies and intentions to the international community. The Afghan Foreign Minister's clarification served to reaffirm the commitment to constructive dialogue and minimize misunderstandings, signaling an awareness of the importance of public diplomacy in building trust and maintaining cooperative relationships. Overall, the incident illustrated the delicate balance between cultural context and international expectations. It emphasized the need for careful planning in diplomatic engagements, particularly when addressing sensitive issues such as gender representation and press freedom. The clarification offered by the Afghan Foreign Minister aimed to restore confidence, demonstrate accountability, and ensure that the focus of the visit remained on productive discussions about trade, infrastructure, and regional cooperation, while acknowledging the significance of inclusivity and transparency in modern diplomacy. In conclusion, the recent statements and diplomatic activities of an Afghan foreign minister highlight the complex and delicate nature of regional relations, from addressing border tensions with Pakistan to engaging in constructive dialogue with India. Afghanistan has demonstrated a commitment to peaceful resolution, pragmatic diplomacy, and international cooperation. The emphasis on de-escalation, readiness for alternative measures if necessary, and efforts to strengthen economic and political ties underscores a thoughtful and balanced approach to national security and regional stability. By navigating these challenges with transparency, responsibility, and a focus on dialogue, Afghanistan aims to foster trust, stability, and long-term partnerships with its neighbors and the broader international community. As we reflect on these developments, it is clear that peace, understanding, and cooperation remain the most powerful tools in addressing complex geopolitical challenges. Let us hope that continued diplomacy, mutual respect, and constructive engagement lead to a safer, more stable, and prosperous region for all. Good luck to all who are working toward dialogue and harmony, and thank you for taking the time to understand the realities and nuances of these important issues. Your attention and awareness are the first steps toward building a more informed and peaceful world.